Hey man, I need your help with something.
Clearly.
Okay. I'm doing a survey where I'm asking teams about our performance.
Bad.
You gotta let me ask the questions first.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for taking this survey. Today we're gonna...
Bad.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry, what did you ask?
I didn't ask anything yet. I was just welcoming you.
Bad.
Okay, moving on. How would you describe our offense?
Bad.
Did you find us hard to defend?
No.
How about the power play?
Bad.
What about the power play did you think wasn't good?
That you didn't score on it? Look, man, I don't want to be rude. I don't want to appear rude, but doesn't the box score kind of answer all this crap for you?
Oh no, my therapist told me I can't look at box scores anymore.
Okay, but you watched the game, so you know what...
Whoa! My therapist would never allow me to watch the game.
What? Do you even know how your team's doing?
Well, I can make assumptions.
Based on...
How often my therapist schedules me.
How often is that?
Oh, only like 3 times a week. But if the Blue Jackets were even decent, I would cut that way down. And you just watched us play, so what do you think?
Twice.
Twice a week? Twice a week is way better. That's way better.
A day. You should see your therapist twice a day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking today's survey. If you use the QR code at the bottom, you can get a free Tim Hortons coffee. Okay, look. I know that this sounds crazy, but that's the jersey. This is the one I'm supposed to wear for the video. I didn't wear a jersey during the game because once in a while something comes up where it just doesn't feel right? I gotta go off the vibes. And so I just put on a regular hoodie and I watched the game. And it turned out fine because I read the vibes correctly. And then for the video, I still gotta put on a jersey for the video. Like that has to happen. And I'm looking at the wall and I'm reading the vibes. And this one, just like a golden aura in a video game goes, me! And as soon as I walk over to it, it's like a flashing red light. It says, absolutely not, do not choose me. I will ruin the next game so hard. So hard. But as soon as I take steps away, it feels like it's the right one again. I don't know what to do. Is this what therapy is for? It feels like this is what therapy is for. This is why I need a therapist. No other reason. What if I just did the whole video from under it? Does that make sense? I found my resolution. I'm just going to hold the puck from the Winter Classic last year the whole video because I can't put a jersey on. I don't know. I think I'm losing it. Just this shirt is a very faded, allegedly with a picture of an ostrich on it for a little Letterkenny shout out. So shout out Letterkenny. Shout out Patra, who's coming back because Canada got wiped out by the Czechs. That was fun. I saw a lot of hate going Patra's way. I don't know really what that's about. Oh, guys, that is a dub! All right, I missed all that. It was a dub. No, I saw a bunch of people get on Patra about those games. I didn't tune into a lot of them. The stuff I did see, I thought Patra was playing well. That team just wasn't a juggernaut that Canada's used to. I don't really know what to say about that. I'm not worried about Patra based on his performance at the World Juniors. I'm not concerned. And Mel's scored twice in a 7-2 beatdown from the United States team. The Latvia's... But good showing for him. So that's pretty cool. The vibe is weird tonight because this game wasn't what you would consider exciting. You wouldn't consider it an exciting game. You also wouldn't have considered this game to have ever been in doubt. Even when the team didn't look good to start the game, Columbus is a bad team. That's a bad team. That has a lot of high-profile names on it, and somehow it's still a bad team. Funny how that works. Funny how that works. And they're a bad team for a lot of reasons, honestly. The coach doesn't know what the hell they're doing. He's trying to run this team as if it's a Stanley Cup contender. He's benching some of his best players. Please hear that as highest profile players, not their actual best players. And they keep moving superstar rookies down to the fourth line. I don't know what Pascal Vincent is doing over there. It seems Columbus fans are very upset. I'm going to agree with them because Fantilli doesn't deserve to be down there. Now, Fantilli didn't play on the fourth line in this one, but my point stands. He's been bouncing them around a lot, and it feels like this is a time to make your young guys better and play them against top competition rather than whatever the heck he's doing. Other than that, though, you can tell that the structure is not really there in any way because the team is bad. 25th ranked power play, 13th ranked penalty kill, 16th ranked offense, and 30th ranked defense. So the defensive structure isn't there. The goaltending isn't there. The power play performance isn't there. And their penalty kill at 13th is fine, right? You would call that fine. What's weird is Merzlikins is posting a 907, which is way above league average right now. League average is like an 898 or something. We're not going to play him again. We've played Spencer Martin the last 2 games against them. We'll play Spencer Martin once again. He has been doo-doo except for that one game where he went off against us in late November, I believe it was. What's even weirder is this team, this Columbus team, for 5-on-5 play is 6th in the league in goals scored per game. For 5-on-5 play. Their power play is so bad that their offense ranks 16th. But an even strength, they are tied with the Oilers for 6th in the league. Isn't that weird? How is your 5-on-5 scoring that good, but your power play sucks? I'd look at the coach. Is that fair, or is the coach also part of the 5-on-5 play, which I would argue yes is the answer to that. I don't think that's fair. Enough about the Blue Jackets, probably. The Bruins. Let's talk about those guys. We shifted up the lines a little bit, and not in a way I loved. We went Marchand, Coyle, DeBrusk again, and Zacha, Geekie, Pasternak again, which that Geekie line really struggling right now. Really struggling. If it wasn't for Pasta's just ability to beat players and get in the offensive zone, I don't know if they'd be creating anything at all at this point. Either way, JVR, Freddie, Heinen. Not a bad third line. I'm not upset about it. There's some things that I don't love about it, but if you're not going to play Freddie with Coyle, having him center a line seems to be working for him right now, and they had a phenomenal game. And then Lauko, Merkulov, Steen, Beecher is benched. Now, I know a lot of you are upset about the Beecher benching. I actually kind of get that one. I think he has been subpar to the standard we would like for him to be. Defensively, he has to be better. The faceoffs have been good, but he also has to be able to get the puck up ice a little bit, and I think he's been really struggling with that. So a little reset for him. It's not a long-term benching. It's nothing to be overly concerned about. This happens, right? What I am annoyed about is Merkulov was brought up because he was basically a point-per-game guy in the AHL. Offensive pop. And although his 200-foot game had greatly improved, you wouldn't consider him a defensive stud. And the fourth line starts the large majority of their shifts in our defensive zone. And Merkulov sucks from the dot. Something that we know. And we have known. That's not going to change overnight. I simply don't understand the decision. And I'm going to stop questioning the coach who continuously has this team first place in the league. The playoffs are the playoffs, and we'll get there when we get there. Right now, we're talking about the performance that we need, which is regular season performance. I gotta stop freaking out about what his decisions are because the team's winning. The team's winning. Merk on the fourth line seems like a waste of time to me. Might as well just left him in the AHL. Doesn't make any sense. And even in this game, you saw moments where he flashes his skill, his vision, his ability to create, and there's no one there. There's no help. There's no one getting open. There's no one creating spaces. He's not a fourth-line grinder. A third-line trigger man? Sure. That's what I thought he was going to amount to. And that's still up in the air. I'm not sure where he's going to end up. But it looks like he could be better than that. But what he isn't is a fourth-line grinder. That's not who he is as a player. And I think Monty knows that. I think Mougenel knows that, the Providence coach. I don't understand I don't understand. I don't understand this. Especially when last game, although that third line didn't score, they were really dominant in possession and scoring chances. The third line with Merkulov, I mean. I don't get it. Also, we're first in the league again. Take that for what you will. Woo. This team. Why are we so superstitious? Why? It's silly. I'm not, obviously. I'm not. Like, comment, subscribe. Nailed it. Puck drops. Puck drops! First period sucks. It sucks. The first period, SUCKS. I can spell. It really is ridiculous. The Bruins aren't engaged at all. I think Olmark was locked in and Pasta looked feisty, even though his line mates couldn't help at all. Just a brutal period. But we'll go through it real quick. 7:31 in. It's a free power play as Juracek just skies it out of his zone for no reason. And it's a type of power play that makes you want to gouge your eyes out with a plastic spoon. Ooh, like the spoons that you used to get in cereal boxes as prizes. Do you remember those with all the fun designs on the back and they'll have like maybe a little figure on the back of them? A dull spoon is what I mean. A painful process. It was awful. It was really bad. And then, after we don't do anything with that, of course, 9:10 in, Texier takes a dive. A full, dive. Lorai is going to go for holding. He grabs him a little bit. Sure. And then Texier just jumps on the ice. I hate, and I don't trust the refs to enforce this properly, so I don't even want the rule to change, but if there's embellishment, don't call it penalty. Call the embellishment. Only. Be like, you know what? I don't even know if that was a penalty because your bitch ass decided to dive on the ice. I hate it. I hate it. If there's one of the few things that I will use the word like soft for, is people who take blatant dives. Blatant dives. There's selling calls, which I'm not a fan of either, and then there's diving. Don't like it. Either way, 4v4. Nothing happens with it. 6:50 left. Severson going for roughing. We're back to the power play. It's also terrible. And that's the period. It's 0-0. And everyone said the same thing. Just wake up. This team's not good. Just wake up. And that's all they had to do. And that's what they did, more or less. And it took something as simple as listening to Brick. Because Brick knows what he's talking about. 2:12 into the second period, Brick makes a great point and says, basically, throw the puck on net. You have 6 shots at this point. We are almost 22 and a half minutes into the game. You have 6 shots against the Columbus Blue Jackets with Spencer Martin in net. Who do you think you're playing? Just shoot the puck. And what happens? Maybe 20 seconds later, Grizz is on the left point. He's going to wrap the puck around the boards as it's coming up the right wall. DeBrusk's going to come over. He's not going to factor in on this goal on the score sheet, but he deserves it because he pins a defender to the wall to allow the puck to keep moving. Just a hard forecheck, basically. And it gets up to Shattenkirk, who's on that right wall just around midway, and chucks it blocker side. And Spencer Martin picks it up too late. It's 1-0, just like that. Just like that, because he simply threw the puck on the net. I don't even know if he was aiming to shoot. He might have been aiming for the corner and just to get that bounced back around. I don't know. Either way, that's a goal, and Shattenkirk stays hot, and it's 1-0. And then a couple of minutes later, this is just a good bounce for them, or a bad bounce for us, however you want to say it. Lindholm gets tripped up. I didn't see the replay enough to even care if this was a legitimate, someone tripped him or not. But he gets tripped up in the slot as the puck is bouncing off the wall back towards the slot. Everyone had already turned their backs. They figured the puck was going the other way. It wasn't. And Provorov is there. He jumps on it. He bounces it backwards up the slot to Kent Johnson, who just hammers this glove side. And it's 1-1. It's one of those goals like, okay, that might be the only goal they get this game. It was a great breakdown by us. And just a good bounce for them. Whatever. I can't tell you how indifferent I was. I don't know why. I was just so indifferent to this Columbus Blue Jackets team competing in this one. It didn't feel like they were ever going to win it. No, they could have gone up by 4 goals. That's not true. If they went up by 4 goals, I probably would have been livid. 8:42 in. Grizz is going to go for holding. And this immediately follows a shift. And this is why it was so frustrating. From the Coil line that had 1 minute and 11 seconds straight of offensive possession. Didn't get knocked out of the zone that whole time. They had one shot, and it was blocked. Brutal. Like, that's bad. It's not a big deal. We're going to the penalty kill because Grizz took that right after that play, but man, that was a frustrating shift at the time in a tie game. We're going to go to the penalty kill. We kill it just fine. During the penalty kill, though, Lorai is going to take the puck off his stick and into his mouth. So, after trying to eat the puck, it didn't work. It probably took a couple of the mouth bones. Just a couple of them. He'll be fine. But he toughed it out. He went down the tunnel a couple times during the game to get that handled, but he did tough the game out. Welcome to the NHL, man. That's just so badass to me. I don't want to be flippant about it because that hurts like a son of a gun, but what a badass. 8:48 left. Geeky is tripped up by Severson. We're going back to the power play, and the power play still looks as bad as ever, but a goal's a goal. With 6 seconds left, Lindholm finally finds some space as he's at the top of the slot, and he's just going to fling this down to DeBrusk, who's standing in the middle of the slot. And DeBrusk is going to deflect it, glove side. I think this is still going in either way, but JVR is standing in front of Spencer Martin, doing his job well, and it bounces off him and goes in. Who cares who scores the goal as long as it goes in the net? And that's 2-1 on a power play goal. And the power plays looked atrocious, but hey, they don't ask how. They ask how many. And we're going to go to the third period up by a goal. Was anybody creeping in their head the whole like, we can't hold a lead in the third kind of thing? Late game, up by a goal? Because I bet you weren't. Not against this team. Man, I'm just shitting on the Blue Jackets right now. Rude. 7:29 in. Freddie line once again gets to work. And JVR, he's going to chip the puck deep. And he's so good about this. Because I feel like when he chips it in, it's oftentimes with a plan. He tries to get it where it's achievable for us to lay pressure in. And he does a great job of it. Freddie lays the forecheck, as he usually does. Jiricek blindly just tries to throw this through the right circle to get it out. And of course, JVR is there. He followed suit. He's going to whip that on net. Heinen is going to be in front of Spencer Martin for the rebound. Just shovels it by him. Heinen deserved this so much. This was one of my game notes. I'm just going to say it now. Heinen was so good this game. Andrew talks a lot about Geeky doing the little things right. Heinen's just like that. He won puck battle after puck battle after puck battle. He did so much little stuff for this team tonight that it's not always going to show up, and you're not always going to be ultra impressed by it, but it calculates into the winning percentage of teams. He's doing a great job on a bare minimum contract. We are very lucky to have Heinen here with us right now. Genuinely. But it's 3-1. And then 4:02 left. Heinen just skies us out of our zone. He's not going to factor in this goal, but he should. Because the team's learning, if you're in trouble, just get it out first, and then we'll figure it out from there. Well, he skies it into the neutral zone. JVR and Freddie are there to battle with the defender to get the turnover going. JVR is going to win it. He's going to skate down the left side. Freddie's going to hustle his ass to the right side of the slot. The pass is perfect to him, and the finish is even better because Freddie is going to snipe a Rooney and cheese top blocker corner, and it's 4-1. That's the final score. We kicked their ass. Game notes. Trent Frederick. What a warrior. The dude's been dynamite since we coming back from the break. And honestly, looking back, he's been pretty solid. There's been definitely slumps in his play here or there. He's not super consistent, but who can you say that about on our team at this point? Who's been a real consistent player? I think this team is constructed in a way where you need, hey, these guys are hot right now. Great, because it's making up for the fact that these guys aren't. I think that's just kind of how this team is going to go. But Freddie's been playing really well centering his own line. So I kind of wanted to look into it of like, is he actually matching how good he is with Coyle but on his own right now? And not to say that Coyle carried all his play. I think we said at the end of last year, too, that Freddie deserves his own spotlight. The guy is playing well. He's doing a good job for this team. He is a bottom six or middle six guy. No shame in that. He's very important to the team. So I looked into it a little bit. And for those of you who like advanced analytics, no. He's not better without Charlie Coyle. He's still been really good without Charlie Coyle. When he's on his own line, he is outscoring, or his lines are outscoring opponents. They are outchancing opponents. Their expected goals are higher than their opponents. That's all good stuff. But when he is with Coyle, that ramps up by a lot. Their expected goals for go way up. Their goal scoring, they double up opponents and even strength goal scoring this season. So it's pretty clear that those two still belong on a line together, and I'm not going to stop beating that drum even though Trent Frederick looks good. I just want you to know going forward, it's not because I'm looking down at Trent Frederick. I just really like that pairing together. And it makes sense to me. But it is nice seeing Freddie be able to take his own line. I wouldn't say he necessarily drives a line, but he works well with the people on it. It's hard to say any of those guys, JVR, Heinen, Geeky, anyone you would really put on a line with him. Any of those guys would be driving a line. I think that's going to be a full unit effort. That makes sense, right? Yeah. The only other game note I have, Merkulov is not a fourth liner. Can we stop? Can we stop with this? This is silly. We watched during this game him have these really bright spots and be off the ice again for 8 more minutes. I have no idea what the thinking was there. I'm very bewildered by it. So do me a favor. Put him on the third line or the second line or fuck it, the first line. I really don't care that much. With Patra coming back, actually, let's do a fun little exercise. What are your lines when Patra gets back? I'm going to say mine right now, but you should put yours below. I'm curious what you think. This won't happen, but this is what I'd like to see. And I'd like to see it for an extended amount of time. Don't blend it right away. Zacha, Patra, Pasta. Geeky hasn't been doing it for me on the first line. He hasn't been doing it for anybody. Is that Geeky's fault? Absolutely not. Is Patra ready for 1C role? Absolutely not. But I don't think you have that significant or any drop-off between Geeky and Patra there at all. I think Patra opens up more lanes. I think there's more to like about that. There is the risk that you lose a forechecking presence on that line, and they struggle to gain the zone in a more physical manner, and they have to rely on the rush. But let's see it. And then the second line, we'll do a little Marchand, Coyle. You know what? I want to put Freddie there. Yeah, let's put Freddie on the second line. We'll do Geeky, or DeBrusk, Merkulov, Geeky. Try that for your third. And then your fourth line would be your Heinen, Beecher, Steen. And Lauko gets pushed out. I like it. Tell me what you think. Go Bees. Go Bees! Thank you for watching, but of course, we've got to give a shout out to the low-quality YouTube channel members. Need a real name for that one of these days. Starting with the top line tier, the Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Aaron Adams, Coach D, Just Aaron, Darren Woodbury, Micro Sausage, Brett Arney, Pincent, Justin Barnard, and Nick Zatrullo. You guys are studs. And then we have our Stallions, Abraxion, Haile E. Coyote, Joel, Jacob Pratt, Jason Ozzy Bruin Connolly, Tupton Detashi, Jonathan Harvey, DeKingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Doots42, Bruin Smash, and Jeremy. Absolute legends. Thank you guys so much for your support, and go Bees.